Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you for joining this morning. Let's continue. Start with Radha Madhav. Jai Radha Madhava, Jai Kunj Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava, Jai Kunj Bihari. Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jai Giravardhari. Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jai Giravardhari. Shodanandana Vraj Jana Ranjana, Shodanandana Vraj Jana Ranjana. Yamuna Tirvanachari, Jai Radha Madhava, Jai Kunj Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava, Jai Kunj Bihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Agyantimirandhasya Gyan Anjana Shalakya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Nama Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Savrupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvetam Savdutam Krishna Setam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sutdevi Pranmami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatu Brihascha Kirpa Sindhu Bhevacha Patitana Pavnebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo 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 Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Śrīmade Bhaktivedanta Swami Te Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Parcharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasti Gaur Bhakt Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukham kroti vachalam pangum lagyate garim yat kirpatam vande Shri Gurum Din Taranam Paramananda Madham Shri Chaitanya Ishram Hari Om Tassat Narayan Namaskritya Naram Chevana Uttamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jamaduriyat Nashta Preshabdrishu Nityabhaksaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Neshtaki. Okay, so we are heading towards the end of this chapter, and the last time we were discussing, so we are now in 44, so we were discussing the seriousness of Shringi's curse and the importance of saintly kings like Parikshit Maharaj. And these people, these kings should never be condemned because they are saintly, and whatever is happening is the will of the Lord. It might not seem right, but it's will of the Lord. So the king should never be condemned, especially by a youngster like Shringi, a mature person. I mean, end of the day, Shringi, he did possess a lot of power. So he done some tapasya, he done some penance to achieve that power. It's not like just handed to you because you're born in a Brahmin family or you're son of a Brahmin. It was not handed to him. He did work for it. He did some tapasya to achieve that power, which with that power, at a young age, he achieved that power, which he could use, or which he did use, to curse Parikshit Maharaj. So he had something about him. He had done some hard work. But what is the point of that power, of that hard work, if it's going to be misused? It's no better than Ravan or Hiranyakashipu or the Vasa Muni. They had power, they had done tapasya. Hiranyakashipu, for one, he did so much tapasya. He had no skin left on his body. And they achieved so much power. But when the power is misused, then the power is really not good. It's demoniac power. Right? That's the problem. So Shringi, being a son of a Brahman, uses power in a demoniac way. This is the case. Okay. So we'll go on to 44. Tad adhyana papam upeti anvayam yanashta nathasya vaso vilumpakat parsaparam gananti shapanti virinjate pashun istriyo athan puru dasyavo jana. So that, for this reason, adhya, from this day, naha upon us, papam, reaction of sin, upeti, will overtake, ananvayam, disruption, yat, because, nasht, abolished, nathasya, of the monarch, vaso, of wealth, vilumpakat, being plundered, parsparam, between one another, gananti, will kill, shapanti, will do harm, Vrinjate, will steal, Pashun, animals, Istriya, women, Arthan, riches, Puru, greatly, Dasya, thieves, Jana, the mass of people. So due to the termination of the monarchical regimes and the plundering of the people's wealth by rogues and thieves, there will be great social disruptions. People will be killed and injured, and animals and women will be stolen, and for all these sins we shall be responsible. And you only got to look at the news, you see all these things happen: social disruption, thieves, rogues, and people being killed and injured, animals have even been stolen, happening every time you touch the news. You see all these things happening. The word na is very significant in the verse. The sage rightly takes the responsibility of the Brahmanas as a community for killing monarchical government, and thus giving an opportunity to the so-called democrats who are generally plunderers of the wealth of the state of subjects. The so-called democrats capture the administrative machine without assuming responsibility for the prosperous condition of the citizens. Everyone captures the post for personal gratification, and thus instead of one king, a number of irresponsible kings grow up to tax the citizens. It is foretold herein that in the absence of good monarchical government, everyone will be the cause of disturbance for others by plundering riches, animals, women, etc. So leadership is very important. It should be Krishna, should be by Krishna, not for the people, by the people. The sage took the blame on himself. The sins of the son, it's usually sins of the father. The son has to pay for the sins of the father. In this case, the father is paying for the sins of the son. And not only will the father pay, the whole Brahminical society, the whole of the society will pay for such a mistake, which at the time seemed like a very, normal thing for Shringi to do. The whole society will go on to pay for it. Tadarya dharma praviliyate nirna varnashramacharya yutas triyamayaha tato artha kamabini vistat atmanam shunam kapinam iv varna sankaraha. So tada, at that time, Arya, progressive civilization, dharma, engagement, praviliyate is systematically vanquished, nirnam, of humankind, narnam, varna, caste, ashram, orders of society, aschar, yutha, composed in a good manner, mayaha, in terms of Vedic injunctions, tatha, thereafter, arth, economic development, kam, abhini, vishita, fully absorbed in sense gratification, atmanam, of man, shunam, like dogs, kapinam, like monkeys, evathas, one sankra, unwanted population. So at that time, the people in general will fall systematically from the path of a progressive civilization in respect to the qualitative engagements of the castes and the orders of society, and the Vedic injunctions, thus they will be more attracted to economic development for sense gratification, and as a result there will be an unwanted population on the level of dogs and monkeys. Interesting. So dharma, arth, kam, moksha. So people will be more interested in kam and earth, or rather earth and calm. So work hard, play hard. That is the philosophy nowadays. Never mind the dharma and never mind moksha. Those two things don't exist. It's mainly earth and calm. People work hard for that so they can have maximum gratification, have top cruises, top holidays, and there's so much drug taking now as well. The expensive class A drugs people are taking. You can buy them in a corner shop now. It's really, really bad. And with this demand, there's a supply, and with this supply, that can also make the demand. But usually, the demand will create the supply more locally to you. So, like the electrical vehicles, because there's a demand now, they got sites everywhere where you can charge your car. I mean, why would they have sites everywhere if there was no need for them? Because there's a demand for it, so they have to make those sites. So like that. So it is foretold herein that in the absence of monarchical regime, the general mass of people will be unwanted population like dogs and monkeys. As the monkeys are too sexually inclined and dogs are shameless in sexual intercourse, the general mass of population born of legitimate connection will systematically go astray from the Vedic way of good manners and qualitative engagements in the castes of and orders of life. The Vedic way of life is progressive march of the civilization of the Aryans. The Aryans are progressive in Vedic civilization. The Vedic civilization's destination is to go back to Godhead, back home, where there is no birth, no death, no old age, and no disease. The Vedas direct everyone not to remain in the darkness of the material world, but to go towards, towards the light of the spiritual kingdom far beyond the material sky. The qualitative caste system and the orders of life are scientifically planned by the Lord and his representatives, the great rishis. The perfect way of life gives all sorts of instructions in things both material and spiritual. The Vedic way of life does not allow any man to be like the monkeys and the dogs. A degraded civilization of sense gratification and economic development is the byproduct of a godless or kingless government of the people, by the people, and for the people. The people should not therefore begrudge the poor administration they themselves elect. It's a problem. So the Purishats are corrupted, the Varnashrama is corrupted, everything, because there's nobody there to explain the Vedic systems properly. So when we misinterpret them, we see the buzzwords and we see statements in there, and we come to conclusions. But you need to know the beginning and the end of the Vedas, and only the great rishis could explain that. They explained to the saintly kings, and the saintly kings explained it to the citizens. But now there is nobody to explain, so people just make up their own rules, their own interpretations of all these things. And we are the ones who elect those people. But what can we do? There is nobody else to, you can only go by you can only pick a team of the players you have available. You can't, okay, nowadays this is why they go to other countries. They bring in people from this country, that country, they pay, extra, so like that. But you can only pick from what is available. You cannot, you cannot get saintly kings if there's none available. So you have to go with whatever is there. You have to make the best of the bad bargain. Simple as that. But the result is that development is the byproduct of a godless or kingless government of the people, which is chosen by the people and is for the benefit or the destruction of the people. So there you are. So when you get the voting paperwork, documents come to your house, you can't just select any name. You can only select for what's on the list there. You have to put a cross on this number of names that are given to you. What can you do? You just have to select what is there. Same, that is the government, local government or national government. You can only select what the candidates are available or that have come forward. Excuse me. So that's 45. Dharma palo narpatihi satu samrat brihcharvaha sakshan maha bhagavato rajrishi hai madhyat shutrit sharm yuto dino nevasmach chapam arhati. So Dharma pala, the protector of religion, narpatihi, the king, sir, hey, tu but samrat, emperor, brihat, highly, sharvaha, celebrated, sakshat, directly, Mahabhagavata, the first class devotee of the Lord, Raj Rishi, saint amongst the royal order. So saintly king, Heya Madhyat, great performer of all sacrifices, Shut, hunger, Trit, thirst, Sharam Yutha, tired and fatigued, Shram Yutha, Dina, stricken, Na, never, Evathas, asmat, by us, Shapam, curse, Arati, deserves. The Emperor Parikshit is a pious king. He is highly celebrated and first class devotee of the personality of Godhead. He is a saint amongst royalty, and he has performed many horse sacrifices. When such a king is tired and fatigued, being stricken with hunger and thirst, he does not at all deserve to be cursed. Excuse me. So, perform many horse sacrifices, is a saint. Who does that benefit? The citizens, right? They do the horse sacrifice for the welfare of the public. So they get good crops, they get wealth, they get happiness, lack of disease. All the sacrifices are done for the citizens themselves, and make sure their borders are secure, because when they're doing horse sacrifice, it's telling the neighbors that you are either a friend or you are our enemy. So then you know who your enemies are, so you don't get a surprise attack from them. So, and you know who your friends are, that who will support you in those times. So after explaining the general codes relating to the royal position and asserting that the king can do no wrong and therefore is never to be condemned, the sage Shamika wanted to say something about Emperor Parikshit specifically. The specific qualification of Maharaj Parikshit is summarized herein. The king, even calculated as a king only, was much celebrated as a ruler who administered the religious principles of the royal order. In the Shastras, the duties of all castes and orders of society are prescribed. All the qualities of a Kshatriya mentioned in the Bhagavad-Gita 1843 were present in the person of the emperor. So he was a pure warrior and a saintly king, and like everything you can expect in a king, that he's strong, he's brave, he's intelligent, and he's compassionate, had all the qualities. He was also a great devotee of the Lord and a self-realized soul. Cursing such a king when he was tired and fatigued with hunger and thirst was not at all proper. Shamika Rishi thus admitted from all sides that Maharaj Parikshit was cursed most unjustly. Although all the Brahmanas were aloof from the incident, still for the childish action of Brahman boy, the whole world situation was changed. Thus, Rishi Shamika, a Brahman, took responsibility for all deterioration of the good orders of the world. So before anyone can point a finger at him, say, look, your son did this, Shamika Rishi, he took the full responsibility of the actions of his son, because he is responsible for his son. So his son's mischievousness, it reflects on the father as well, and he's saying that I'm taking full responsibility, that whatever punishment there is, we're willing to accept. Only in this case, Maharaj Parikshit, being so compassionate, he accepts his fate because he knows that is the will of the Lord, and we know that everything, when you are a devotee of Krishna, you accept his will. So fame can come to you easily, but insult can come to you easily as well. And as a devotee, you accept them both with open arms, because you know that is the will of the Lord. If he wants, and it is for my benefit, or is for a special purpose. When I got fame, when I didn't think I even deserve it, that was the mercy of Krishna. And when I got insult, that is also mercy of Krishna. If it can happen to somebody like Maharaj Parikshit, then who are we to complain? Because in one instance, Krishna saved him. He went into the womb of Uttara and saved Maharaj Parikshit. And now he's been cursed. Same king. Now he's been cursed, and nobody came for his for his rescue. Completely opposite. Been saved from the Brahmastra of Ashwatthama, being cursed by Brahma boy. And he said, fine, that was good. Right? So you have to be equal in happiness and distress. That is the quality of a devotee. Always equal in happiness. Don't get too excited with happiness, and don't get too upset. You just take the right, action. No need to go overboard with your emotions. Emotions should always be in control. So it's the same king. He saw that as mercy, and he saw this as mercy of the Lord. And this is the lesson for us, that 1 minute we might be getting a lot of praise, other minute, we might have fingers pointing at us, but it doesn't matter, because it's all part of our journey. It's the mercy of the Lord, because He is in control. He's even using our karma. When the Guru takes our karma, when you get initiated, the Guru takes your karma. What does he do with them? Krishna takes them from him. Krishna can either completely nullify all your karma, just get rid of them, you don't need them, or he can put them in a karma account and give you little installments as he sees fit for your betterment, for your advancement. He's got them locked away, and he'll let you have them from time to time. So you see that Krishna is giving it. Nobody is more smarter than Krishna. If whatever is giving you, that's like the medicine for you. It's a bitter medicine, but it's going to do you good in the long run, so you accept it. That is the best way. When you can start putting Krishna in the center of your life, then nothing can bother you, nothing can put you in distress, because whatever is happening under control. It's controlled management, not uncontrolled management. So why worry when there's hurry? There's no need to worry. So I know it's easier said than done, and we all do get into situations where we sort of panic, but as long as your situation, it doesn't stop your bhakti. You want to panic when your situation is stopping your bhakti, because if anything's stopping your bhakti, then Krishna cannot be responsible for that, because Krishna doesn't want to stop our bhakti. He wants us to continue. He wants us to get back home. He will not stop. So if something's stopping our bhakti, then we have to check ourselves, that what are we doing that might be responsible for this. So we have to look at our anarthas at that time, that this is me. I've just done something that I shouldn't be doing. Have I offended anyone? Have I done something that may be responsible, that I cannot chant, or I'm just not able to make it to the programs? Every time I want to listen to Bhagavatam, every time I want to listen to visit the temple, something comes up and stops me. So you have to check that, what's happening? Why am I being stopped? Why am I been having obstacles in my way? So like that. So we should obviously reflect on our own actions and thoughts, but at the same time know that Krishna is in charge. So thank you so much. We can stop here. We've got about 47-48, actually 4 verses left that we can do on Monday, and then Wednesday is a day before Narasimha Chaturdashi, and there's nothing better to go into the festival or Mahotsav Narasimha Chaturdashi than by hearing Bhagavatam the night before. So there'll be no program in the morning. In the evening we'll have overview with a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, and he's very good. His answers are very good. Ask him any question. Bring your questions. Ask him. He has wonderful answers. And just any disciple of Srila Prabhupada, he's been in the bhakti for more than 50 years. for sure. So please take advantage and go into Narasimha Chaturdashi by hearing Bhagavatam, and then dream of Bhagavatam in the night and wake up to Narasimha Chaturdashi. Okay, now let's
Hare
hear.
Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, can you say the last point again? You said, like, if there are obstacles, then we should reflect. Can you just say that again, please? I was just distracted.
Sure.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, I was saying that Krishna administers our karma, that he holds. The Guru has taken our karma. Once we get initiated, the Guru takes our karma, and then Krishna will administer that karma. Now we having Krishna karma before we having our own karma, but once you get initiated, then we having Krishna karma, and Krishna will give us that karma as he sees fit from time to time. He will give us a little bit of a dose, small dosage. Otherwise, on our own whims, we would have had a big dosage, right? Just like Srila Prabhupada cut his finger, and he said that I should have had something really worse, but I only just cut my little finger, little cut on my finger. So we've got to see things like that. That whatever happened to me would have been a lot worse, and only Krishna's mercy, he has just given me little dose of that karma that I had accumulated. So that's that. And then what I'm saying is that when Krishna will give you karma, he'll give you just enough that you can continue doing your bhakti. You can continue hearing. You can continue going to temple. He will not try to stop your bhakti. If your bhakti is being stopped, then we should look inwards, that what are we doing wrong that this has happened. That's the point. Krishna does not stop your bhakti. I've heard many people say, they are suffering from something or other, whether it's a disease or some other mental problem, and they say that Krishna does just enough that we can steadily practice our sadhana. We can still practice sadhana. And if you're not able to practice your sadhana, then you have to check that am I doing some offenses that I am being blocked for my sadhana. That's the point. What offenses may I be doing that I'm not able to do my bhakti. And on the other side, people say that we want to do it, we want to do bhakti, but we don't have the time. We don't have the time because we got work responsibilities, we got this responsibility, that responsibility. Everybody has responsibilities. Look at Prabhupada. He achieved so much at an old age. You have to make time, you have to prioritize. And if you're working 6 days a week, you still have the 7th day. Nobody can, not continuously, you cannot work 7 days. So you have 1 day to yourself. Krishna will forgive you for those 6 days that you were working or you had to work to make ends meet, to pay your bills. He'll forgive you for that. But the 7th day, which is your day of rest, you're resting, you can use some of that day for Krishna service. You can serve him, you can go to the temple, you can listen to a class. That time which is yours to use, that you should apply in Krishna's service, from that free time. All the time, if you're busy, that's fine, because when you apply that 7th day, some of that part of the 7th day into Krishna's bhakti, he will help you. He will make more time for you, and your life will become that way, that your job will become easier. You'll have more time in the week as well. So he wants to see your enthusiasm first. If you're not, I'm working 6 days, 7th day, I just want to rest. Well, Krishna says, well, carry on then. You work 6 days, rest. But if you're making an effort out of your own free time, then he will help you and get you that time on the other 6 days as well, right? So like that, Krishna is in control. So check out. So do your own enthusiasm, do your bhakti when you can. If you're really busy, Krishna will help you. And also, just see if there's obstacles in your way, then just check what offenses you might be doing that are causing those obstacles. Otherwise, little bit of problems in your life, Krishna is giving them in control. It's not the things that are out of control. Krishna is administering them, through a controlled channel. So don't worry too much about that. I hope that makes sense, Madhuri.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. And Pundikaksh Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Anand Pranam.
And to you, Prabhu.
Yeah. Few points. I mean, either appreciation or insult, both should be taken as a mercy of the Lord. So either you do great thing or not able to do great thing for anything. I'll understand that Krishna is in charge, and we are getting the result of our karmic activity. The only thing is, the only one who can save you from this is only Krishna. And so do your devotional service properly. The point you mentioned, I like that very much, that if your bhakti is not going properly, then look at yourself, introspect yourself rather than looking for externals. So there might be something which we are not doing correctly. That's why our bhakti is not going correctly. And Parishit Maharaj is at a stage where he is not a person to be cursed, and he has done Ashwamedha Yajna. He is so great. I was just thinking, Prabhuji, correct me if I'm wrong, like when in Bhagavad-Gita, apiche suduracharo bhajateva ananya bhak. So if one person, even though he commit mistakes, but if he is already in the path of bhakti, then he should be considered as a sadhu. So that person can be considered as a sadhu, means Parishit Maharaj is definitely a very elevated sadhu who should not be cursed and cursed. So even once one Prabhuji was mentioning that if a person comes to the temple, even though he is not chanting, or he might be chanting one round and I might be chanting 16 rounds, but that doesn't mean that he's a new devotee and I'm already established a devotee. Again, Gauranga Darshan Prabhu was saying this, that out of many thousand people, one will come to the path of bhakti. Like that, he came to the temple means he was already a devotee in the previous life. That's why he came to the temple that day. So nobody should be considered as low or high in this. Everybody is a devotee of the Lord, and we should not consider ourselves as great in anything happening. It's only because of the mercy of the Lord. And Guru really plays an important role for us. I heard again on this that Guru, I mean, he's taking our karma, but again, in one of the pastime it is mentioned that Guru uses all his karma, all his good karma, for saving his disciple. So he burns out his own karma to save the disciple. So disciple will have karma, but he will slowly burn that with the help of Guru and Sadhu and Shastra. In that way, Guru is actually helping us. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Wonderful points, Prabhu. And also Guru, he chants on our beads, and he gives it like a head start on our beads and say, look, now chant on this. So it makes it very auspicious for us, and he charges that the japmala for us as well. Take that. So yeah, Guru is very important. Thank you, Prabhu. Kiran Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Pundakash Prabhu made some very good points, and the misuse of power by the demonic rulers, tyrants, kings, politicians brings about social destruction. Very evident in our society today. These rogues are not only stealing, but they're also taking over our hearts and our minds. And if we're not careful, they'll take our souls as well. And with this theft, there is the karmic reaction, equal and opposite. You can see the degradation that's happening in the West. You can see the degradation that's happening within the Mughal previous empire, within Islamic countries. And if we live a pious, God-loving approach, as Parikshit did, but Parikshit was a very exalted ruler who followed Vedic principles in the ruling of his kingdom. So much so that he did so many Ashwamedas. And so he accepted with grace the insult that was thrown at him. He accepted with grace the fame and the positive things that he was doing with equal poise. He accepted that this was the divine will, that he was being cursed to die within 7 days. And it's that acceptance of the divine will which is a problem in this world today. You did say in 45, people work hard, people play hard, but people forget God and religion. And that is what creates the heartache in people's lives, because they're trying to fill it with alcohol and misuse other illicit substances. And when those two things fail, they go to seek other pleasures. And those pleasures are only short-lived. The only permanent holiday is with Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and within Bhagavatam. That's a holiday which you can take forever. You don't even need sun cream. You get the permanent rays of Krishna's effulgence upon us perpetually. And so, from time to time, even us who try hard to become equal, self-realized, we do get fatigued, as did Parikshit, but we have to rise, take responsibilities, as Shamika Rishi did. He took parental responsibility for his errant son, who thought he was a bright upstart. This is a problem of our children today. They think they're bright upstarts. They've seen more Diwalis than we have, but they think they know it all. And hence, we have a role and a duty to embed and enrich their lives with Krishna consciousness, and then to get the Sankirtan in their hearts and minds and through their ears. And so, we are so blessed to have these words of wisdom ringing in our ears and our hearts every day. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. I'm just going to say that, talking about fame and insult. If you are getting fame, then quickly use that fame in the service of Krishna. Use your popularity to serve Krishna, to attract other people, inspire other people. If you don't do that, then the same fame will become a weed in your bhakti lata, right? In your devotion, it will become a weed that will suck out all the nourishment of your bhakti. So quickly use that in the service of the Lord and make it part of your bhakti, and use it in that way. Otherwise, it will look like a weed, and you can't always see the weeds, through the plant, but they're there, and they just take all the nourishment that actually should be going to your bhakti. Thank you so much. Hina Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna everyone. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I think the only point from that many thought that I had in this verse was, obviously we have Shamika Rishi, and it's clear that he takes responsibility for the curse of his son to Maharaj Parikshit. And I think the lesson here for me is not to dwell on the issues and the problems that come our way. As you nicely explained, Prabhu, the Krishna sanctions everything that comes our way, whether he's sending happiness, whether he's sending obstacles, problems to us. It's all been sanctioned by him, which means then ultimately it's for our own good. He's sending it for good reason. So if problems and obstacles do come our way, we can use Maharaj Parikshit's example, as we'll see in forthcoming verses, how he just accepts it. So the learn from me certainly is not to dwell too much on the problems that we get. We need to quickly address them if we can, fix them, address them, and if we can't, and then we have to live with them, then we just need to accept them quickly and continue with our bhakti, essentially continue on our path, and just be grateful, and just see them as gifts from God, essentially, that we may not understand why we've received these problems, and it could be karmic, it could be from another life, it could be whatever we mistakes we've done to others, and we have to now accept them. So and that's all we can do. But everything is being sanctioned correctly, accurately, as it should be for our own good, essentially, is kind of my takeaway. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mata. Yeah. So the reaction we're getting a lot less than we deserve, and so we have to just bear with the Lord. That thank you for not giving us much, the what we deserve, and just giving us a little bit of that reaction. Thank you, Mataji. Yeah. Praveen Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Pranam Prabhuji, yes, we have to have faith in Krishna. Whatever is happening for our best. And in Krishna's database computer, there is no virus. Everything is working perfectly, and we just have to learn from our circumstances, reflect and learn. So in these verses, we see how importance of dharma, without dharma, there is a decline in civilization. Everyone suffers. Importance of good leaders. Parikshit Maharaj, it's mentioned like in Bhagavad-Gita, verse 1843. It states all the qualities of a kshatriya. They're powerful, determined, heroic, courageous, generous, and we see all these qualities in Parikshit Maharaj. We read the chapter where he was compared to all the great, personalities, and then also learning about parental responsibilities. We are responsible for our children, what we have to teach them. You can only teach by example. So, and Shamik Rishi, he's really sorry for what his son has done. And then that's qualities of a good devotee, because they tolerate insult and hardship. So he thought it was nothing if Parikshit has done that. So they do not seek revenge, whereas Shringi, because he's young, immature, inexperienced, he reacted in anger. So again, it teaches what spirituality brings. It brings inner peace, and how we get spiritual when we are following in the footsteps of the Acharyas, and chanting is the main thing. So when we are chanting for the pleasure of the Lord, all these qualities will automatically come in us. And I was just thinking, Srila Prabhupada, he must have written these purports about 50 years ago, and we always think those times were good. But exactly what is happening now, Prabhupada has written then. So how the leaders, they're just working for selfish motives. It's all about, like you said, eat and work hard and play hard. So that is the motto, and we see what's happening in here in the royal, our family, because all sense gratification. So all these saintly kings are lost. So Varnashram, Purushartha, they don't know about these anyway, because they're not in Vedic civilization. So important. So yeah, it is important. Everybody have a copy of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Bhagavad-Gita, and Chaitanya Charitamrita. This morning we read, we were reading chapter. Mahaprabhu makes an attempt to go to Vrindavan, and then it's Balbhadra Bhattacharya is accompanying him. And then we were thinking, there is another person, another devotee with Mahaprabhu. And then the morning Mahaprabhu, he made a comment that that's the service we want, because the third person's name is not even mentioned, and he's serving, Balbhadra is serving Mahaprabhu, and then obviously the other person is serving him, servant of servant. So that's the position we want. We don't want any fame or name, like you said, when you get fame, it acts like a weed. So we have to be very, very careful, so we don't have to look for any glorification. We have to do service in not to make a show of it. My mother used to say, like, when you give with the right hand, even your left hand should not know that you're doing something. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Wonderful points. Thank you so much. Ajay Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
These verses do highlight just not only of the degradation that was to follow because of what happened between Shringi and Parikshit Maharaj, but the degradation that is in today's society. That things have got to the point where people do elect those that are unworthy and then complain why they're unworthy. There's no sense of understanding that there should be some higher purpose to what they're doing, what people that have been elected they should be doing as well. They should be trying to please Krishna. That's what activities should be based upon, rather than their own sense gratification, as has been explained by devotees as well. It's very unfortunate. It's a vicious circle in that sense. It can't, but that's the thing. If we are actually mindful of what we're actually doing, then you can snap out of it to an extent. For example, you'll get those that go to pilgrimage, yet they're still indulged in sense gratification. That's not what you're supposed to be doing when you're on pilgrimage. You're supposed to be doing some austerity. You're supposed to be trying to link with the Lord. And you see this a lot in it's maybe not as bad as in some instances, at least with those that come into like Vrindavan and whatnot, and Mayapur, at least they have some associated with devotees. At least they're aware that you're actually supposed to be trying to link with the Lord, not just it's not just tourism.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's those that have no understanding for them. And you see this with other religions especially. There's no questioning it. They will go to their respective places of pilgrimage, and they will drink and they will smoke and they'll abuse women. Some of them do that as well. It's absolutely ridiculous, this kind of behavior, when you're supposed to be there to try and purify yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem with this degradation. Unless you actually try to actually try to change your life in a way that isn't degrading, that is purifying. That's why we take initiation, for example. We're trying to purify ourselves to the point where we actually are behaving like Brahmanas eventually. And then from Brahmanas, we go to Vaishnavis. We're trying to elevate ourselves. Then there's a real purpose to our lives. Till then, we're just stuck in that cycle of samsara where it's, you do something good, you do something bad, you do something good, something bad, and you're still stuck here. You could elevate yourself to heavenly planets if you're particularly pious, or you could go degrade yourself and make a human life, but a very struggling human life. Or if you're particularly bad, you might go worse, like an animal, or even worse than that, if you're really, really terrible. Yet people take that for granted. It's these things, they only worry about it when the end of life is approaching. They start thinking, actually, have I done right? Should I have done this? Why haven't I ever thought about something more than just eating, sleeping, mating, defending, all that? Never really thought beyond the very basic. Like even when the verse is mentioned, you should be behaving like animals, behaving like monkeys and dogs. Well, that's what behavior is essentially if there's no connection with Krishna. You're no better than a monkey and a dog. If anything, the monkey and dog are on a higher platform than you because they're not expected to be involved in bhakti. It's understanding what they're doing. They're just burning the karma. But you should know better. Yet you don't. You refuse to actually face up to the fact that you are suffering, that you are not maximizing your opportunity of this human life. Then this foolishness continues, and we end up in this world today where people, rather actually trying to glorify the Lord, actually trying to develop their relationship, those that actually consider themselves religious, they'll just pick a particular verse and then use that to argue against each other. And it's called glorification of themselves. They're trying to show how smart they are. Oh, look, I outsmarted you. It's like some sort of legal debates where just trying to find if there's like correct grammar or incorrect what you call clause here and there. It's actually complete stupidity, really. But it's unfortunate that people do get into this sort of mess, and it's a complete waste of life. And yes, that's why the devotees are so merciful, because they give the opportunity to these people to try and make use of this human life and not just waste it away. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much. And actually, it just shows the mismatch between the body and the consciousness. We've got a body of a human, consciousness of an animal. So there's such a big mismatch between the two, and we've got to try and bring it back, align it with with what body we have. Not have consciousness of monkeys and dogs and a body of a human being. That means we have to work on the Lord's given us the body. Now we have to work on the consciousness. That is our job, to bring it in line and beyond. Not just become human. We have to become a devotee. So we have to go beyond that consciousness. There's so many layers of consciousness, and we have to take it over the everyday human being, and bring it up to human being means that rise beyond the eating, mating, sleeping, and defending, because the animals are doing that. We have to rise above that, and then when get to the point of a servant of the Lord and try and build a relationship with Him. Thank you so much, Brother Rani.
Hare Krishna, everyone. My pranams to all of you. Yes, we've seen since the departure of the glorious monarchies in the civilization, the killing of people, in the wars, in the self-motivated interest of the, countries has increased, and this is where the Kali Yuga is progressing. And the non-devotees, they are participating in indirect bhakti, we can say, by following the Vardashramas. And if there is no opposition, or opposition in the sense that there is no difficulty in one's life, one is just going to just carry on sense gratifying, and sense gratification is not going to lead to anything. It's just too much of sense gratification is going to lead to problems, as we know, both physical and mental. And it's not going to be making any kind of spiritual progress for the person. The neophyte devotees, we know that they do the Pancharatrika Bhakti. They follow the rules and regulations to the hilt, very to the point. And the advanced devotees, they follow the Bhagavad Bhakti. And Bhagavad Bhakti is to chant sincerely, to hear Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam sincerely, not just to hear, to imbibe something from that teaching all the time, not just to regurgitate what you've heard or what you have just heard, or you just aspire. You just try to emulate in yourself, so that you can make the real progress. And that is what is needed from our human life, that we have to make a concrete progress for our next better destination. And like it was mentioned in the verse about the democracy, in the democracy the popular vote is given for what purpose? It's just for sense gratification, isn't it? They promise you they will deliver you that, and the general vote will be going to that particular person who is promising the most rewards to the public. So we have to learn a lot from these verses as all the time, and we have to strive for the bhakti and strive for the real essence coming from the great speakers, from the purpose of Srila Prabhupada, and try to imbibe something from that every day into our lives, be it only a little, because they say drops will fill the oceans. So this is what we have to aspire for. And it's so nice that we are nearly approaching the end of chapter 18 now, and then one more chapter and we will be embarking on canto 2. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Thank you all. Catch up with you on Monday and to complete this chapter. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Premanande Hari
Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu.